Hello, my loves. Welcome back to Chemistry with Kismet Tarot. I'm Monica, the Kismet Chemist. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the family. I'm honored to have you. If you are returning, welcome back. I've missed you. If I cry, don't be alarmed. And these are definitely not gratitude tears. This is like I'm literally having a mental argument with spirit in my head right now about what I'm being asked to do because I'm not okay with it. But this is one of those moments where spirit's like, no, this will be good for you. And I'm going, are you shitting me? And this is actually why spirit wants me to do it, because I have 414 subscribers right now, which FYI, I am stupid grateful for. 414 people. I have been inundated with comments and reactions and responses and messages that have all been so overwhelmingly positive. And I am sitting here working on Mars's retrograde guidebook. And I have horrible imposter syndrome. I am really doing my best to watch my mouth, because when I get in this state, I want to swear like a sailor. So spirit wants me to come here and actually work through this shit with everyone. Lay myself bare, lay myself honest. Don't prep. Don't journal. all of my safety features, all of my very logical, very rational, very practical steps. Spirit's like, nope, this is what you need to do. I quite literally went and paced back and forth down my hallway, paced around. Willow got upset so much so that, look, she's literally like, Mom, we need to take a walk because you always calm down when we take a walk. And if you saw my vape, I am diligently working on quitting this right now. I am so high stress because I want to be better. And this is the thing, is I want to be better than I was yesterday. I want to be better than I was 2 days ago. I want to be better than I was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. And every single day I wake up and I know that I am doing better and I know that I am progressing. But I will have days like today, mornings like this morning, where, you know what? I got up and I had a conversation with my kids and it was great. And I had a conversation with my husband and it was great. And I started a load of laundry and it was great. And my kitchen is cleaned up and it's great. And I cleansed my house and my space and my workspace. And I set up so that I can be in the sun, so I can do my things, so I can multitask, because I have a bunch of bananas going bad. So I'm going to make banana bread again. I set it all up because I knew this is what I needed. I made a healthy breakfast. I worked out. I did everything. I did everything that I normally would do. And I'm still sitting here with so much inner tension because I'm starting a new book. I'm starting a new astrological self-help, fully channeled, fully surrendered to whatever flows through, without any rhyme or reason, without any rationality book. And I have done this 5 times already. I have done this 5 times already. I am on the 6th book, and it should be like riding a bike, and it's not. It's not. It's not like riding a bike. So last night I was journaling. I set the intention that I was going to be working with the Akashic Records and just seeing what came out. And before doing, I'm sorry guys, I totally got distracted. I just squirreled. Because there's little snippets of things on my floor. And literally, as I was talking to you, my brain was going, I probably should sweep and mop instead of sitting here and doing this, because I don't want to be making this video. That's how bad it is. But also why spirit has me doing this. Before I talk about journaling yesterday, I actually do want to tell you why Spirit called me to do this and why it's so important for me to be this freaking raw with you guys. Number one of the things that Eliza said to me was why she appreciates my gifts and the way that I channel and the way that I do my readings and how it works. Because she knows, because I do this, the way that I channel is literally the way that I parent. And it's that fact that's why she said, Mom, the thing about your channel is you humanize it. And that was something that I struggled with so much, because I literally called my mom a year ago and I said, well, and this was when I was still in the structured idea of God, because I was working through my religious trauma and religious deconstruction. So I called my mom and I said, God wants me to humanize him. God wants me to humanize him. I'm not comfortable with it. I don't know what to do. I stopped thinking about how to do it because the imposter syndrome was so severe that I was like, who am I? I'm not a theologist. I don't have a degree. I didn't graduate college. I spent more of my life in and out of hospitals, in and out of surgeries, in and out of doctors' offices. I have spent more of my life doing that and then parenting and sleeping because my body just was in a state of giving up continually. I spent more of my life there than I have here in spirituality, here in my truth, here in my gifts. I've spent more of my life there. What right do I have? Stopped doing it and just started doing the things that I love, which is reading tarot, sharing my story, and writing. I love writing. I love writing so much. I love writing so much. Okay. So I just started doing the things that I love. And somehow my 14-year-old daughter told me last week that the one thing that I was freaking out about a year ago, that thing that I was freaking out about a year ago, I had done without thinking about it. In those moments, I should feel uplifted. I should feel assured of myself. I should feel empowered. And I get there in time. But my initial reaction, and this is why one of the biggest reasons why I was called here, is because this initial reaction is something that Spirit wants us all to be aware of. Not because I do it, but because it's a common thing. That initial reaction is instantaneous imposter syndrome. It's a positive feedback and my brain goes negative. Why? Because I have trauma. Why? Because I have negative biofeedback loops continually. If you want to know what a negative biofeedback loop is, a negative biofeedback loop is you think something, you see something, you correlate the thing outside of yourself with the negative thought process biofeedback loop. Now you've created an energetic loop of this is what I'm doing, this is what I believe, this is the proof I have. Now they feed each other. It's negative manifestation, essentially. My brain automatically has that trigger. It takes all of my effort to overcome that trigger. But when I sit down to start a new book, it is like pulling teeth. I have been talking about and scheduling time for me to write this book for 2 weeks since the day I hit the publish button on Uranus, because I know within my very being, with every fiber of my being, that this is the one book that I absolutely have to have out before the retrograde starts, which means I have 1 month. This is not me bragging. This is because I can hyper focus when I channel. When I hyper-focus and I channel and I surrender completely, the messages flow so smoothly, so quickly that I can move through an entire season's aspect in a day, in one day's time. If I don't have this imposter syndrome going on in my head. So when I was journaling last night, my intention was to go into the Akashic Records. I did not feel as though I was energetically there because I was exhausted. I had just done a bunch of filming, but I am still working through a lot of emotions surrounding being a parent to an adult and learning how to let go of my adult child, learning how to let my adult child make her own mistakes and not come rushing in like Mama Bear and saving her. It's so damn difficult. It is so damn difficult. And it is something that I have to do and that I am working on. And it's something that I know is a huge, huge personal lesson that is being downloaded and experienced right now, because it's going to be a lesson that the collective deals with during Mars's retrograde, because this is how it always works. When I do these books, I have to go through the challenge of the lessons. And this one lesson has been the most painful. This one lesson has been the most painful. So number one, I have beautiful, beautiful gifts, and I am here to help the collective, but I am still human and I still struggle. And these are still very real things that we go through. And I say that because I want, when it comes to my community and my channel, I want everyone to understand that I'm not this high ethereal being. I am a human just as much as you are. And I am here to help guide for the places that I can. But it does not mean that I don't go to other readers and other guides for help in the areas that I struggle with. And that's why I will name drop any and every reader who has impacted, who has brought me a message, or whose message has resonated so deeply that it has helped me change my life. That is why, one of the biggest reasons why I cannot be more grateful for Lexi the Leo, for Alyssa and Celtic Fairy Tarot, for Madison and Aso Tarot, for Hazel and Rosology, for Jessica Alexandria and Bahati Life, for Tay with Tarot with Tay. I cannot be more thankful for these people because they have been the lights that have guided me to my own time and time and time again. And so, and Odessa, who honestly, her energy is literally one of those lights that gives me the strength to come here and do this shit. Because this path is not easy. And last night as I was journaling, Spirit showed me something that I wrote this big. Like, I'm telling you, like, you see how small the type is on this card? It's, I guess when I put it up, okay, look at the size of the type next to my glasses. Like, it's teeny, teeny, tiny. I was channeling, and it was coming through so fast and so much that I had to cram as much as I could into a page. And it ended up being like 6 pages long. Tiny, tiny writing. I hate when I do that because that kind of channeling is really hard for me to decipher at times. But I was working with the Darkwood Tarot with the intention of working with my shadow before going into the Akashic Records. I did not fully intend to just dive directly in. And when I told Eliza that I was channeling from the Akashic Records, because she came down midway through and was like super excited because she had just finished walking her dog. And so she has ADHD. And so it was this like, Eliza, I'm in the middle of channeling from the Akashic Records. She goes, are you okay? The last time you did this, you ended up completely and utterly drained. I said, actually, I was drained prior, which is why I wanted to talk to my shadow to make sure that I had the energy to do what I felt like I was being called to do. And now I feel really great. And she's like, awesome. And I, we said goodnight and she went about her business. But I'm in this, I'm doing this in my shadow work journal, which totally unexpected. And I was working with the Darkwood Tarot, and the two cards that came out were the Star and the Hermit. So when I work with the Darkwood Tarot, I work with the book, the meanings in the book, because it's a different level. It actually shows your shadow side, and in a beautiful way. Big plug for that. What I kept getting images of was hurdles, running hurdles in track and field. I used to run track and field when I was a kid. Up until the age of 14, I ran track and field. I did the 100-meter dash. I did the 400-meter relay. I did long jump, and I did the 110-meter hurdles. I actually stopped doing the hurdles when I was 12, but I stopped track when I was 14. Why did I stop doing the hurdles? Because there was a day that I had taken on too much onto my shoulders. I had done too many races, and I needed to prep for my final race, which was the 110-meter hurdle. Now, with hurdles, when you run them, you have to know your steps. So you have to take the time to know how the blocks work, how you're going to jump off the blocks, make sure that your feet are placed exactly right into the blocks, and that you know every step when you come up to that first hurdle. The reason why is because if your steps are not fluid, are not exact, then when you try to leap the hurdle, you either hit the hurdle, you have to stutter step, and then you slow yourself down and you're no longer in the race, just no longer in the race. Or you do what I do. You had your steps perfect. Everything was perfect. It was like flying, except you don't realize how exhausted you are. You don't give yourself the time to rest, or you don't think you can do it. At the end of this long journey, you don't think you can do it. And that last leg that you have to pull around catches. And if you have ever run hurdles, you know when that last leg catches, you and the hurdle go down. You and the hurdle go down on a track. There is blood. There is screaming. There are stitches. There's an emergency room. It's not a pretty picture. I tore my knee up. I tore my meniscus in my knee. I tore my elbows up. I had stitches on my face, I believe. No, not on my face. Stitches on my elbow. And then a cut, like scrapes on my face here. It was awful. So why the heck am I seeing hurdles, Spirit? Why was I seeing hurdles? We think about the Hermit card as somebody who goes into a cave, because that's what we're told. Somebody who goes into a cave. They've got a lantern. Why are we limiting ourselves in the darkness? Why can't we learn in the light? These are the things that bug the crap out of me. Why is it that we can't learn our shadow in the fullness of the light? Because if you think about it, when you're in the sun, you always know where your shadow is. You always know. But when you're in the dark, it's really, really hard to find your shadow. So what do? Go into the dark with a lantern? The argument could be that, well, with a lantern, you control the light. But do any of us control the light? No. So imagine if you will. You're on a field. You're in the middle of the field, the track. There's a track around the edge. There's a football field in the middle. You're in the middle of the football field, 50-yard line, center of the 50-yard line, okay? You're watching runners on the track. There are hurdles. You're watching them warm up. You're watching them get ready. Each of the rings of the track is a different mindset. Each of the runners is you. They may be you now. They may be you 10 years ago. They may be the little kid version of you. Whatever they are, it's a version of you. This is where that mindset started. Now, if it's a positive mindset, there are very few hurdles on that positive mindset track. The hurdles that are on there are the times that come to test our resilience to maintaining this mindset. As we leap and we hurdle and we continue, we choose whether we need to keep doing the hurdles. If we don't need to keep doing the hurdles, that means that we have integrated this positive mindset into our existence, and we don't need to keep working and working and working and working at it. We don't need to keep doing affirmations. We don't need to keep breaking ourselves down. We just do it. It just becomes a part of us. Now, if it's a negative mindset, we're surely not the ones putting up the hurdles. Our higher selves might, spirit might, but we aren't. You guys, this whole video is one of my hurdles. This is one of my imposter syndrome hurdles. I struggle to start new books because I have written 9 of them. And there's a part of me that goes, have I done enough? And when I do that, that hurdle is leaped with, I made a commitment to doing this because of a passion I have, an inspiration I was given, and a calling I felt in my soul. There's a beautiful spiritual purpose to these retrograde guidebooks. They last forever, even if they are within the guise of 1 year's time. And the ways that they have changed my own life have led me right here, right now. And it is that way every single time. Okay. Hurdle leaped. The next one is, who am I to do this? Well, I've done this 5 times before. And when I do that, then it's, but you didn't do Jupiter. You didn't do Jupiter. And that hurdle gets slapped with that time frame where I was struggling with, why didn't I feel called to doing Jupiters? I hate feeling a sense of incompleteness. I actually have considered doing Jupiters after this, knowing that Jupiter ends in November, simply because I wanted a wholeness to it. But every time that I pulled cards about doing Jupiter's retrograde, it goes against my own destiny and fate to do that book. And I don't like that because I like wholeness. But I have accepted that as what Spirit has said to me. So I can leap that hurdle. But here I sit and I am trying to start the next section, the next section that takes information from all times and all places and brings it all together, and it talks about the completion of the retrograde cycle lessons of this year. And I can see it, and it's a beautiful thing. And I've been picking it up and putting it into each and every one of the books. And it's amazing to me. But a part of me is like, I know I have to look at wound patterns, and I know that this is going to call on my entire being. And I am in such a beautiful flow state, and I am scared. I'm scared. And that's where imposter syndrome comes in. And I don't know how to ask for help. I give help so well. I am so good at doing that, but I don't know how to ask for help when I have imposter syndrome. I actually teach people how to ask for help, and then I don't do it. And my husband hates it. And that's something that I have had to hurdle. I've had to hurdle asking for help. And to that one hurdle was leapt earlier this month with Lexi. And I'm eternally grateful for her for helping me leap that hurdle. But this imposter syndrome that hits, this initial reaction, this imposter syndrome, who am I to do this? Why me? What right do I have? What if it tanks? What if it doesn't matter? What if nobody reads it and I'm just putting myself through all of this for nothing? But is it for nothing? All of these things come up. All of these things come up and they're hurdles. Now, what's the point of this whole damn video? I guess to remind you guys and to remind myself in this one moment that although there are hurdles and there are negative mindsets, and we have to keep pushing ourselves when we are tired and exhausted, there are ways of resting, there are ways of taking a break, and there are ways of getting help. And there are ways to remember that we are not the mindsets that we carry. We are the person observing the mindsets and the rat race that we're running, or the race, the hurdle race that we're running. We're in the middle of the field watching it. We are not it. And that is so important. If I had not learned that lesson last night, today would have been a much harder day for me. It would have. But Spirit wanted to put me out of my comfort zone and push me to do a message like this that just laid myself bare, because once upon a time I used to make videos like this. Once upon a time I made videos just like this. And I stopped. I stopped because of imposter syndrome. I stopped because of conflict. I stopped because life came in and smacked me down, and I felt like I couldn't do anything. But when those moments happened with this channel, I did not stop. I couldn't. I couldn't. And I haven't wanted to put myself on camera a lot, and Spirit's pushed me on that. I haven't wanted to talk a lot about the wounds because it's been used against me, but Spirit wanted me to do that. And it's about stepping into a state of trust. It's important in these moments to remember that we are the ones in the middle of the field. And we are watching parts of ourselves running this race, trying to get out of it. But we're the ones in the middle of the field, so we can blow the whistle. We can end the race. We can make the choice. We can save ourselves. It's really hard. It's really hard in the beginning. It's really hard in the middle. I don't think there's an end. But it gets easier. The more you learn how to leap the hurdles, it gets easier. And over time, there are less. And I know for a fact that as I sit here and tell you all this, that Spirit's going to call me to review this video for myself over time. So I guess I just, when Spirit asks, I may fight, I may fight back for a while, but I always respect that there is a rhyme and a reason to what I'm being asked, and I have watched it change people's lives. I have. I've watched it help people heal, and so there has to be a rhyme and a reason to this beyond that. I just needed to get it all off my chest because I could have done it journaling. So Spirit's working in spirit ways. All right, guys, I'm not even going to ask you to like, share, subscribe, whatever. I'm just going to say thank you for being here. Thank you for sitting here and listening to my tirade. If you did, awesome. If you didn't, awesome. It's out in the world because that's what Spirit asked me to do. Okay, I'm going to get back to my writing. Tomorrow I will be filming a collective reading about next week with all of the energy that we're going through between the first quarter moon, Pluto turning direct, Mercury turning direct. We've got a lot going on, and Venus moving in to Libra. It's a lot. There's a lot of energy going on, a lot of changes. All right, you guys, I love you all. I will see you next time. Bye.